Welcome to She Made That, a series that celebrates creative women. I'm your host, Daniela, and every month I sit down with women to hear their stories, what they create, and why.
She made that. She made that. You're so creative. She made that.
Hello, thank you so much for joining me today on another creative discussion. Before we start, can you give yourself a little introduction as well as the business you created?
Well, good morning and thank you for having me. My name is Vida Hill and I am a transformational psychic medium and energy activator. I work predominantly with women who are ready to step into the fullness of their lives, wanting to create their dream reality and bring it into existence and really rediscover who they are, claim and own themselves again. It's more about reawakening those parts of themselves that may have feel like it's gotten lost or forgotten in the craziness of life. I have been a psychic medium for over 20 years now. That's how I started. And that evolved into energy healing and creating my own modality of energy activation and incorporating superconscious recodes that works with your subconscious mind to clear resistance and create new pathways, new neural pathways to help you step into your new reality, your new life faster, easier, and sooner.
Oh, wow. I always love connecting with psychic mediums because I've always believed in an afterlife and I consider myself to be really spiritual. If you don't mind me asking, at what age did you start to realize that you were gifted?
For me, being a psychic medium is very much part of my lifestyle. I think I realized when I was around the age of 4, I remember very clearly thinking that I wanted to be a psychic and then having the thought that no, that's only for special people. And at that point, I decided I was going to be a vet, a veterinary surgeon to work with animals. And I held on to the dream of becoming a vet until I was about 19. And I started university, and that didn't quite go as planned. Around the age of 22, 23, I went along to a psychic development workshop with a friend, and it was a 6-week course. And it was the very last session that the lady said that she'd invited a friend along for the last session. And the woman, I'd known her, I recognized her from psychic fairs I attended previously, and she'd walked in and she had a dog and spirit with a big dog. Nobody said anything. And it was at the end of this class that this lady said, "Who saw what came in with me tonight?" And I was the only one who raised my hand and said, "You had a big dog with you?" She said, "Yes, that's right. That's my son, Bernard. He passed away a week ago, and I called him specifically to see who would pick up on him tonight." And it was in that moment when I went, "Oh, I can actually do this." And it really landed that all those years it hadn't been my imagination. It had actually been real. And fast forward to a few months later, I ended up doing an angel workshop with a lady, and she asked me to attend a psychic fair, but she was running, and she said to me, "You will be there." She gave me a table, and that's when I started doing public readings around the age of 22, 23. So, but that defining moment with that big dog was my moment where it really hit home that I can actually do this, and my dream from that 4-year-old little girl had become realized.
Oh, wow. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I'm always so fascinated with gifted people. Out of curiosity, once you were fully established, did you get messages at any point in time, or do you tune in as needed?
So the way I work and what I always would recommend for people is to go back and do a foundation work, right? And set yourself up properly. And what that means is having healthy boundaries, including healthy psychic boundaries, which means you don't walk around open all the time. You can do, and I have done, and I do sometimes get messages that come through quite persistently. But for most part, I open when I work and I close when I'm not working. So I don't go around just reading everybody as I walk down the street or when I go and socialize, because that is my time. So for me, I actually have a practice where I'm like, I'm ready to work now. That's when I receive messages, and then I close down afterwards. So that's just, I guess, a bit of psychic housekeeping or psychic hygiene, where you protect yourself, you protect your own energy. And for me, it's also impacts around, you know, not intruding other people's spaces. So when they come to you for a session, that is when you tune into them.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, I would also assume that you'd be exhausted if you were always open, right? Now, do you offer your services in person or virtually or both?
Yeah, well, I think the idea when you are open is that you're not so much using your own energy, but you learn to channel universal source energy. And when you learn to do that, you become less tired or exhausted from working, and it can actually be quite uplifting. I find that often I feel quite open, for lack of a better word, almost high from working. Having said that, when I used to do psychic fairs, the intensity of working 2 or 3 days straight back to back, that would take a few days to recover from, because it's like having any other job, really, right? You do get tired when you don't have breaks and you go really full out. But I generally find doing my sessions can be quite uplifting rather than tiring. For me, what I do with my services, I do offer in-person sessions at home. But most of my work these days is done online through video calls or even phone calls here in Australia, but I work globally online, especially the energy activation work and the energy recoding or blueprint recoding, as I call it. That is really easy to do. Even across distance remotely, I have done energy healing sessions remotely as well, and even email readings. So I find it is a very flexible modality to work with and makes it really accessible for people across the globe when you can access it online, virtual, and distance space.
Wow, yeah. I find it interesting how energy can be felt virtually. When you do virtual readings, are your messages felt differently? Like, how do you interpret your messages? Are they any different from in person?
No, when you work over a distance, the messages are the same. The way I explain it to people is, no, I'm a channel and I tune into your energy, and energy is fluid. It's not stuck in one physical location. And it's a bit like talking on the phone, right? Or like talking like we are now. If we were having a phone conversation or in-person conversation or sending messages back and through for WhatsApp, your question to me would be the same. And my answer to your question would be the same. It wouldn't change just because your physical location has changed. So when you channel information through, whether it's through reading or do energy healing, the information and energy that you connect in with the other person is still the same. The questions are still the same. What they want to work on is still the same. And the information received, the guidance is still the same. The only thing that is different is the way how it's delivered. For instance, when you're working in person, you're delivering it face to face. And that potentially offers the opportunity for more immediate feedback and interpersonal exchange. When you're doing it over, for instance, Zoom, same thing, the information's still the same, your connection's still the same, and you still have that more interpersonal connection, the same over the telephone. The only difference is you're not seeing the person in person. The only time it's a little bit different, the information is actually still the same, is by email, only because in media for which you're delivering the message is different. You actually have to type it up or you have to record a voice note to send that person. So there's less interpersonal exchange for quick clarification or communication. But in my experience, I
almost for readings, I prefer working over the phone and in person or through Zoom. I do enjoy the email readings as well because I find I get really good feedback because you just type out exactly as you hear the words. I hear the words and I type it out or I share it, and that's the same way I work in person. For energy healings, I quite enjoy doing the distance healing because I could just work without any interferences and you go straight to the point, you get straight into energy and you do what you need to do. The only difference is with the energetic recodes that I do, that I find my preference is to see the person either online, on the phone, or in person or in a group environment. That's probably the only one I won't do via email, but I can adapt that to work over distance if I need to. And you will still have similar results or the same results because energy isn't stuck on one place. It's it's like a telephone connection. You can access it, you can tap into it, and it's send and receive back and forth in that manner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Thanks for clarifying. Now, do you have a website where people can find you?
I do. My website is vidawhill.com. That's vidawhill.com. Or you can also find me on Facebook as Vida Hill or Vida W Hill, as well as Instagram as Vida W Hill, and also on YouTube.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep doing what you're doing and take care.
Thank you for having me. It has been a pleasure. Have a beautiful day.
She made that. She made that. You're so creative. She made that.